Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 10.2C. I've entitled this video, The Deadly Duel. This video is going to cover pages 276 to 277. Pike's Expedition. Lewis and Clark were not the only people Jefferson sent to explore the wilderness. Lieutenant Zebulon Pike led two expeditions west between 1805 and 1807. He traveled through the upper Mississippi Valley and into the present-day Colorado. In Colorado, he found a snow-capped mountain he called Grand Peak, known today as Pike's Peak. From Pike's travels, Americans learned about the Great Plains and Rocky Mountains. Pike also mapped part of the Rio Grande and traveled across northern Mexico and what is now southern Texas. Question 1. What are some new things that Americans learned about the Louisiana Territory thanks to Pike's expedition? Well, we learned about Colorado. We learned about Pike's Peak. We learned about the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains, the Rio Grande River, and we learned about areas like southern Texas and even parts of northern Mexico. So his expeditions gave us more understanding of what our purchase of Louisiana got us. A Federalist plan to secede. The Louisiana Purchase troubled Federalists in the Northeast. They feared the westward expansion would weaken New England's power in political and economic affairs. A group of Federalists in Massachusetts plotted to secede or withdraw from the Union. New England would become the, quote, Northern Confederacy. The plotters realized that if the Confederacy were to last, it had to include New York as well as New England. The Massachusetts Federalists needed a powerful friend in New York who would support their plan. They turned to Aaron Burr. Question number 2. Why was the Federalist Party worried about the Louisiana Purchase? Well, the Federalist Party had already lost a lot of power. They had lost the election of 1800, and they were concerned that as Western expansion happened, the Western states had already voted for the Democratic Republicans with Thomas Jefferson, and so they further worried that more expansion west was going to even more so weaken their power. And so this was really a political thing. They weren't thinking about the long-term vision of America and how more states would help us economically. They were just worried about their own political power. Question 3. What does the word secede mean? Secede means to withdraw or to leave an organization or group. It's ironic that when we think of secession in American history, we think about the South and the Confederacy and how they broke away to start the Civil War. But I'm sure Southerners would love to point this out, that, well, look, we weren't the first group to think about doing this. You Northerners thought about it first. Question 4. What state did the New England states feel was important to have in their Northern Confederacy if it was going to last? The big state of New York. Question 5. Which person had Alexander Hamilton never trusted? The very man that the Federalists were going to turn to, Aaron Burr. Hamilton and Burr duel. Alexander Hamilton was concerned about rumors of secession. He had never trusted Aaron Burr, and now he heard that Burr had secretly agreed to lead New York out of the Union. Hamilton accused Burr of plotting treason. Meanwhile, Burr was suffering setbacks in his political career. Blaming Hamilton for these troubles, Burr challenged him to a duel. The two men, armed with pistols, met in Weehawken, New Jersey, in July 1804. Hamilton hated dueling, which was illegal but popular among upper-class Americans at the time. Hamilton pledged not to shoot at his rival, but Burr, he took no such pledge. He aimed to shoot Hamilton, and he was successful. Seriously wounded, Hamilton died the next day. Burr fled to avoid arrest. Question number 5 once again. Which person had Alexander Hamilton never trusted? Aaron Burr. Question 6. What did Hamilton accuse Burr of doing? Secretly agreeing to have treason, betraying his country. Question number 7. What did Burr challenge Alexander Hamilton to? A duel. Question 8, 9, and 10. What are 3 interesting facts you learned about the Hamilton and Burr duel in this lesson? That's up to you to pick what you want to pick. If it were me, I might say that number 1, Hamilton didn't shoot at Burr. There's been some speculation as to why not. He did hate dueling, and he said he wasn't going to shoot at Burr. I thought it was also interesting that dueling was illegal, but very common among the upper class Americans. Now, most times, these people would show up at the duels and they would fire in the air. They wouldn't shoot at their opponent. It was more about, can you show the bravery to stand there and hope that your opponent continues to follow that tradition of not shooting at each other. But in this case, Burr, he aimed at Hamilton and killed him. All right, well, hopefully you were able to get 3 facts there, and that is all I have for you there. But before we go, I have not 1 but 2 pictures for you. Duel Aaron Burr, they said. It'll be fun, they said. And then secondly, I thought this was interesting. 32 years after Aaron Burr killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel, Burr's wife left him. Her divorce attorney was who? Alexander Hamilton Jr. Oh, it's amazing how history works. Well, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.